We live in the age of social media, where shredded abs, bulging chests, and perfectly sculpted bodies flood our screens every single day. Aesthetic has become a business card, and having the perfect physique is now seen as a sign of success, discipline, and even happiness. But is all that perfection real? Or better yet, is it even healthy? The obsession with the body has never been stronger than it is today. And with that obsession came a lot of rushed decisions. Nowadays, chasing the dream physique has become almost a collective obsession. Health isn't the main goal anymore. Results are. And not just any results. They have to be fast, visible, and jaw-dropping. The bigger the gains, the less time it takes. And the more compliments you get, the better. It's like the journey doesn't matter. Only the final look does. And that mindset opened the door to something that needs to be talked about seriously. Have you heard the phrase physique at any cost? That didn't pop up randomly. It's the perfect label for a dangerous reality. The idea that any sacrifice is worth it to get a body that stands out. We're talking extreme diets, insane training routines, and of course, the reckless use of steroids. The problem is that in this scenario, the risks are often completely ignored. The focus is only on the before and after pictures. On social media, we see more and more people proudly showing off their results. And sure, it's totally fair to be proud of your hard work, as long as the full story is told. But are they really telling everything? Or just the part that impresses? Steroid use is often hidden behind talk of hard work or great genetics, when in reality, it's being used as a shortcut. And that skews how people see what's natural, what's safe, and what's actually achievable. That skewed perception has a name: romanticization. We're witnessing a growing trend where steroid use is painted in a seductive light, almost as if it's normal, harmless, or even necessary. A lot of young people, without the right knowledge or medical supervision, end up diving into that world without understanding the real risks. And even worse, they start thinking it's the only way. That's why we want to raise a question that might be uncomfortable, but absolutely needs to be asked. Are we romanticizing steroid use? And how far can that mindset take us? If you've ever thought about using them, know someone who does, or are just curious about the topic, stick around. This video is meant to open your eyes and get you thinking. So let's dive in. Before we go any further, let's break this down clearly. What is romanticization? Simply put, it's when something dangerous, negative, or complex is presented in a beautiful, fun, or appealing way, like it has zero consequences. It's when a problem is sold as a solution, when a risk feels like just another shortcut. In our case, it's when steroids are portrayed as some magical path to the perfect body without showing the damage they can actually cause. And where does this romanticization happen most? Just open up Instagram or TikTok. There it is. Transformation montages, epic music, motivational quotes. Impossible is just a mindset. No pain, no gain, chasing the pump. But what you don't see is the steroid cycle behind it all, the side effects, the lack of medical guidance. It's made it look like everything came from hard training and a chicken and sweet potato diet. But that's far from the truth. In the fitness world, a lot of athletes, influencers, and even coaches avoid the topic. Some deny it outright. Others just pretend it doesn't exist. And the ones who do talk about it often act like it's no big deal, like taking steroids is the same as drinking a protein shake. That kind of messaging creates a domino effect. People watching, especially teens, start thinking this is totally normal. That everyone's doing it, so it must be fine. A classic example? The famous before and after transformation in just a few weeks. Someone posts a photo looking average, says they trained hard for a month, and suddenly they're ripped, vascular, and shredded. The audience believes it's just from effort, but it's not. And when that kind of transformation gets repeated over and over, people start to see it as quick, easy, and worse, necessary. There's no denying it. Social media has a massive influence on what we think, want, and even consume. And in the fitness world, that influence hits even harder. All it takes is following a handful of shredded influencers, and suddenly your entire feed is packed with ripped physiques, crazy workouts, and lightning-fast results. That's where a serious problem kicks in. A lot of these profiles push the idea that there's only one way to get there, and that road goes straight through steroid use. Some influencers talk openly about using. Others go out of their way to hide it. But then there's a third group, the ones who don't come right out and say it, but strongly hint at it. They drop phrases like just following the protocol, a little juice solves everything, or the classic magic potion. This creates an environment where steroids seem totally normal, harmless, and almost expected. Worst of all, it starts to feel like if you're not using, you're falling behind. These profiles glamorize steroids like they're some kind of cheat code. You hear the same lines over and over. I trained for years naturally and saw nothing. Or if you want to compete, you've got to get in the game. The takeaway? If you want real results, there's no way around the sauce. That message puts huge pressure on beginners, on natural athletes, on people grinding without shortcuts. And slowly but surely, that pressure starts to normalize the absurd. And let's be honest, the algorithm's part of the problem too. It knows what you like, comment on, and watch, and it starts feeding you more of it. Like a video of a fast transformation? Boom! Here comes another one with someone saying, this physique only comes with gear. Left a comment on a post about bulking? Suddenly your feed's full of cycle breakdowns, miracle recipes, and shortcut hacks. You get trapped in a bubble, drifting further and further from real, reliable info. Meanwhile, surface-level content reaches way more people than educational stuff. Short clips with catchy quotes and hype rap tracks go viral. But the ones that talk about health risks, side effects, and long-term damage, those barely get noticed. The platform rewards what shocks, not what informs. And who ends up paying the price? The younger, more impressionable audience. What's the result? A generation hitting the gym already thinking they'll need to hop on a cycle sooner or later. Some teens can't even put together a basic workout plan, but they already know the names of the most popular steroids. And the scariest part? They think it's normal. They think it's part of the game. Natural is a myth has become a slogan. That just shows how deeply juice culture is baked into fitness aesthetics. While social media keeps hyping mass gains, dry cuts, and that ultra-lean look, the reality behind steroid use tells a way darker story. The physical side effects go way beyond just acne or hair loss. We're talking major hormonal disruption, liver damage, enlarged hearts, high blood pressure, gyno, male breast growth, and even testicular atrophy. And the worst part? A lot of it happens silently until it's too late. And it doesn't stop at the physical. The psychological toll is just as real and just as dangerous. A lot of users report severe anxiety, depression, mood swings, and even identity crises. Then there's bigorexia, an obsession with getting bigger. That gets even worse with steroid use. And when the cycle ends, it hits hard. Self-esteem crashes, the body blows up and deflates, and mentally, everything spirals. It's a domino effect you rarely see on Instagram. What's even worse is when people start using without any medical supervision, which, let's be honest, is what happens most of the time. Online forums, YouTube videos, Telegram groups, everyone's got advice on how to cycle, but no one's taking responsibility. The result? Young people self-medicating, mixing powerful substances without really knowing what they're doing to their bodies. It's like playing Russian roulette with your health. The reckless use of steroids isn't just a dangerous choice. It's a gateway to losing control. A lot of people start with a simple cycle, swearing they'll stop after a while. But then comes the rebound, the psychological crash, and the desperation to get that physique back. So the next cycle starts, then another, and another. Before they know it, they're completely hooked. Yes, hooked. There's this false idea that only recreational drugs are addictive, but steroid dependency can become a real trap, both physical and emotional. The body gets used to that outside boost to keep hormone levels up, and mentally, people depend on how they look to feel okay about themselves. When they stop, the withdrawal symptoms hit hard. And for a lot of users, there's no easy way out. And then there are the extreme cases, the ones you don't see on Instagram. Sudden deaths, heart attacks in young guys, kidney failure, strokes. And we're not talking about people with pre-existing health issues. Many were athletes, in great shape, but the abuse of substances pushed their bodies over the edge. Stories like those of Dallas McCarver, Bido Abospor, and other bodybuilders prove the risks are very real and deadly. But no one really wants to talk about that part. If there's one thing that shows how normalized steroid use has become, it's the way people casually talk about it. You hear stuff like, it's just a little CYP, just a small boost, or he's just lightly juicing. Phrases like these pop up in gyms and on social media all the time. The tone is always chill, almost like we're talking about a pre-workout drink. And that slowly strips away the seriousness of what it actually means to use powerful hormones. Words matter. When we water down the language, we also water down the weight of what's really going on. Saying it's just a light cycle is a way of making something serious sound harmless. And when that kind of talk spreads, it starts to feel normal. And when something dangerous feels normal, we stop questioning it. Memes and jokes make it even worse. The internet is full of funny videos with captions like when the CYP kicks in, or he just wanted a chill little pump. All set to upbeat music, sound effects, and goofy reactions. That turns a serious subject into just another punchline. And sure, laughing is great, but when you're laughing at something you don't fully understand, the criticism disappears. The message becomes just empty entertainment. Those kinds of videos make it seem like taking steroids is just another phase of training. Like everyone's doing it. Like there's nothing wrong with it. And if you're not doing it, you're weak or naive. The scariest part? It's the younger crowd. Those still shaping their views on health, the body, and performance, who are hit hardest by this lighthearted, ironic tone. They absorb the memes, but not the message. The danger hides behind the joke. So let's make one thing super clear. The issue isn't talking about steroids. The issue is how we talk about them. There's a huge difference between informed use and irresponsible use. Informed use involves blood work before, during, and after doctor supervision, hormone monitoring, precise dosing, and a deep understanding of what you're getting into. And even then, there are still risks. But irresponsible use? That's what's all over the place. On the internet, a lot of people sell the idea that just starting with a low dose or following a protocol recipe is all it takes. But the truth runs much deeper. A well-structured cycle requires a full panel of lab tests, total and free testosterone, FSH, LH, liver enzymes, AST and ALT, a complete blood count, cholesterol levels, PSA, you name it. These aren't things you can just guess or ignore just because your reflection is looking better. Plenty of people look healthy on the outside while their insides are a complete mess. Hormones out of whack, sky-high cholesterol, stressed-out liver, and sometimes natural testosterone levels that never bounce back. The body crashes, and suddenly you're stuck needing hormone replacement for life. But that part? You won't see it in a reel with a motivational soundtrack. Another critical point is PCT, post-cycle therapy. A lot of people talk about it like it's a magic reset button. Did a cycle? Just do your PCT, and boom, back to normal. Not quite. PCT involves more meds, more adjustments, and the body doesn't always respond well. Some people do it wrong, half-ass it, or skip it entirely. The result? Depression, zero libido, infertility, and a hormonal train wreck that can take months or years to fix. And here's something that needs to be said loud and clear. If you have a platform, you have a responsibility. That goes especially for fitness influencers who talk or stay silent about steroid use. When someone with thousands of followers pretends it's all natural, that the gains came from just diet and training, they're not just leaving out a detail. They're building a lie that messes with real people's lives. And that's serious. Staying silent can be just as misleading as lying. A lot of creators avoid the topic because they're afraid of being judged, have brand deals to protect, or want to keep that role model image. But by hiding the truth, they feed the illusion. Young people follow these influencers, get frustrated with their own progress, and start thinking they're doing something wrong, when in fact they're just trying to do things the right way. Worse still are the ones who deny everything, even when the signs are obvious, and mock people who ask questions. That kind of attitude misleads, disrespects, and puts others' health at risk. When an influencer lies or twists the truth, they're not protecting their image. They're pushing people toward decisions based on fake info. And when the truth finally hits, usually through someone else's pain, it might be too late. Now, as we wrap this up, it's time to ask yourself, are you really willing to pay the price for a body that might not even last? We're talking about your health, your mind, your life. Is it worth trading years of well-being for a few months of applause and likes? Is it smart to bet everything on a body that could collapse the moment the hormones stop? Here's the real deal. Solid, long-lasting results take time. There's no magic formula, no miracle cycle. It's about serious training, consistent nutrition, proper rest, patience, and repetition. And even if it takes longer, that path builds more than just muscle. It builds discipline, character, and health. And that lasts a lifetime. The physique will fade, but the lessons from the journey, they stick with you forever. We need to start admiring the process, not just the end result. When your focus is only on the look, every shortcut seems tempting. But when your goal is to become a better version of yourself, the path becomes clearer. And the best part? It becomes more sustainable. Taking care of your body also means taking care of your mind, your emotions, and your choices. You can't ignore all that just to add a few inches to your arms. That's why critical thinking matters so much. Every time you hear someone talking about steroids in a super casual way, pause and ask yourself, what aren't they showing? What's missing from the story? Did that easy result really come from just lifting and chicken breast? Or is there a hidden cost behind the aesthetic? Being skeptical isn't weakness, it's smart. Self-care goes way beyond appearances. It's about respecting yourself, listening to your body, and knowing when a choice stops being progress and starts becoming self-destruction. And that's only possible when you seek out real information, surround yourself with honest voices, and prioritize your health. Not trade it for a body that might not even be truly yours. The truth is, yes, you can build an amazing physique. You can stand out, push your limits, and inspire others without putting your health on the line. Will it take longer? Yeah. Will it be harder? Absolutely. But it'll be worth it, because you'll know everything you achieved was earned with effort, consistency, and honesty. And no one can ever take that away from you. So let me ask you this from the heart. Are you building a body or chasing an illusion? What kind of example do you want to be, and for who? Drop a comment, share your story, and most of all, take care of yourself. Because real gains start from the inside out, and the best kind of progress you can make is peace of mind.